There was no king, no palace, no army, no temples touching the sky, no roads, no cities, no money. Yet one decision taken by ordinary humans thousands of years ago would change India forever. Not a war, not an invention, not even the discovery of fire. The decision was simple. What if we stop chasing food and start growing it? That single thought became the foundation of Indian civilization. Today we are traveling back nearly 10,000 years to witness how India transformed from forests full of hunters into villages filled with farmers. This is the story of India's first rural and agricultural communities. And surprisingly, everything begins with a changing climate. For thousands of years, humans were hunters and gatherers. Every morning was uncertain. Would today's hunt succeed? Would there be enough fruits? Would wild animals attack? Life depended entirely on nature. People couldn't stay in one place. If food disappeared, they simply moved. Entire families wandered from one forest to another. Imagine carrying your entire life on your shoulders. No permanent home, no neighbors, no fields, no villages, just survival. But around 10,000 BCE, something remarkable happened. The Ice Age slowly ended. The climate became warmer. Rains became more regular, rivers became stable, grasslands expanded, wild plants grew in abundance. Animals gathered near water resources. Nature had unknowingly prepared the stage for humanity's biggest transformation. Instead of constantly hunting animals, people began observing them. Instead of collecting wild seeds, they noticed something fascinating. Whenever a seed accidentally fell, a new plant emerged. It looked like magic, but it was actually agriculture waiting to be discovered. Welcome to the Neolithic Age. The word Neolithic simply means New Stone Age. The stone tools were still there, but something much bigger had changed. People had finally learned how to produce food. For the first time in history, they became food producers instead of food collectors. Think about what this means. If you can grow wheat, you don't have to run behind deer. If you can cultivate barley, your children won't sleep hungry every night. Agriculture gave humans something they had never experienced before, that is, hope. But farming created a new problem. Fields cannot walk. Once crops are planted, someone must stay and protect them. That meant people stopped wandering. The first permanent settlements appeared. Small huts emerged near rivers. Families lived together. Neighbors helped each other. Slowly, the world's first villages were born. This was the birth of rural India. One of the India's most fascinating Neolithic sites is Mehrgarh, located in present-day Pakistan. Although today it lies outside India's political boundaries, it was part of Indian subcontinent's cultural history. Around 7000 BCE, the people of Mehrgarh cultivated wheat and barley. They domesticated cattle, sheep, and goats. They stored food, made pottery, built mud brick houses. Even dentists existed. Archaeologists discovered drilled human teeth dating back nearly 9,000 years. Imagine that. People who had never seen electricity were performing dental procedures. History never stops surprising us. But Mehrgarh was not alone. Across India, new farming villages appeared. Let's travel across the map. In Kashmir, we find Burjam. Here, people built unusual pit dwellings. Instead of building houses above the ground, they dug deep circular pits and lived inside them. Why? Because Kashmir was cold. Living underground protected them from freezing winters. Human intelligence adapting to geography. Move south. In Karnataka, sites like Maski, Brahmagiri, Hallur, and Tekkalakota flourished. Here, people domesticated cattle extensively. Animal husbandry became almost as important as agriculture. Further east, sites like Chiran in Bihar developed near the fertile plains of the Ganga. Different regions, different lifestyles, but one common dream, a stable life. Now think carefully. When villages became permanent, people begin accumulating things: extra grain, more animals, better tools, beautiful pottery, wealth. But wealth creates another challenge. How do you protect it? How do you store it? How do you exchange it? Agriculture was not merely producing food, it was creating society itself. Time passed, centuries rolled on, then another discovery completely changed village life: copper. Humans realized certain stones could melt into shiny metal. Soon they mixed copper with stone tools. This period became known as the Chalcolithic Age. Chalco means copper, lithic means stone. Simply the Copper Stone Age. Stone tools did not disappear overnight. Copper was expensive, rare, not everyone could afford it. So both existed together, old technology meeting new technology. Exactly like today's world, where some people still use feature phones while others own AI powered smartphones. Transitions are never sudden, history moves gradually. The Chalcolithic villages became much more organized. People specialized in different professions. Some became farmers, others became potters. Some worked with metals, others crafted ornaments, trade expanded. Instead of every family doing everything, society slowly divided labor. Productivity increased, life became more connected. One famous Chalcolithic culture was the Ahar culture in Rajasthan. People here worked extensively with copper. Nearby copper mines made metal easily available. Further west, the Khayata culture flourished in Madhya Pradesh. Another important culture, the Malwa culture, and later the Jorwe culture in Maharashtra. Each culture had unique pottery styles, unique house designs, different farming patterns, yet agriculture remained the backbone. What crops did they grow? Mostly wheat, barley, millets, lentils. Rice appeared in some eastern regions. Cotton cultivation also began in certain places. Imagine the significance. The world's textile story had already begun in ancient India. This pottery became beautiful red pottery, black on red painted pottery, storage jars, cooking vessels, decorative designs. Pottery was not merely art, it was technology. Without storage, surplus grain would rot. Pottery protected food, food created stability, stability created civilization. Sometimes the smallest inventions produced the biggest revolutions. But history was still moving. Another metal was waiting, a stronger one, cheaper, more powerful. That is the iron. Around 1200 BCE, iron technology spread across many parts of India. This marks the early iron phase. If copper was an upgrade, iron was a complete game changer. Iron axes cut dense forests. Iron plows broke hard soil. More forests disappeared. More land became farmland. Agriculture expanded dramatically, especially in the fertile Ganga plains. For centuries, dense forests had prevented large settlements. Iron changed everything. Nature no longer remained an obstacle. Food production increased enormously. Population increased, villages became larger, trade increased further. Some villages transformed into towns. Eventually, these towns became powerful kingdoms. Without iron, the Mahajanapadas might never have emerged. Without agriculture, there would have been no Magadha. Without villages, there would have been no Mauryan Empire. Every great empire begins with a farmer holding a plough. Now let's travel across India's map one final time. Because geography matters, let's connect the faces. In the northwest, Merkar became one of the earliest farming centers. In Kashmir, Bujam adapted brilliantly to cold climates with pit dwellings. The Balan Valley in Uttar Pradesh witnessed early farming communities. Chiran represented eastern agricultural settlements. Southern India developed extensive Neolithic settlements around Karnataka and Andhra regions with cattle rearing. During the Chalcolithic period, Rajasthan witnessed the Ahar culture. Madhya Pradesh became home to Khayata and Malwa cultures. Maharashtra developed the famous Jorwe culture. During the early iron phase, the Ganga Valley experienced explosive agricultural growth because iron tools made cultivation easier. Notice something interesting? Every culture evolved according to geography. Where rivers existed, agriculture flourished. Where copper mines existed, metalworking expanded. Where forests dominated, iron became revolutionary. History is never separate from geography, both work together. Now let us pause. Think about your own village or your own grandparents' village. Fields, cattle, storage homes, community festivals, neighbors helping each other during harvest. These traditions did not begin few centuries ago. Their roots stretch back nearly 10,000 years. Modern rural India still carries echoes of the Neolithic revolution. Every harvested field is a reminder of humanity's greatest decision to stay, to cultivate, and to build. For exam point of view, remember this simple journey. Neolithic phase is where food production begins. Agriculture, animal domestication, permanent villages, polished stone tools, pottery. Chalcolithic phase, copper joint stone, better tools, specialized occupations, trade expands, painted pottery, village economies become stronger. Early iron phase, iron transforms agriculture, forests cleared, large scale farming, population growth, rise of towns and kingdoms. And finally, never memorize these phases as isolated chapters. See them as one continuous story. Hunters became farmers, farmers built villages, villages created surplus, surplus created trade, trade produced wealth, wealth built towns, towns gave birth to kingdoms, kingdoms shaped Indian civilization. Everything started with one tiny seed planted by an unknown farmer thousands of years ago. History remembers kings, but civilization was built by farmers. And that is why the story of rural and agricultural communities is not just the beginning of ancient Indian history, it is the beginning of India itself.